Hi, my name is Mackenzie Lutz. I am a junior at Emporia State University, and this is my final presentation. So for my final presentation, I chose to interview someone that is close to me. Her name is Faith Teeter. And so in the interview, I will be asking her questions about her childhood and how her life has been ever since she's been incarcerated. And you're just going to see an insight of what it's really like being incarcerated, along with her having a child. And I just hope it gives you guys some inside knowledge. Before the interview, I had told Faith that this was going to be a face-to-face interview and it was going to be recorded. But once we got to the interview, she did not feel comfortable showing her face. And so I respected her wishes, and you guys will be listening to a recording of our interview. What is your name?
Faith Teeter.
How old are you?
I am 20 years old.
Do you have children? If so, how many?
Yes, I have one daughter who is 2 years old.
Have you ever been arrested?
Yes, I have more than once.
And what were those for?
Just recently, a year ago in April, I was arrested for possession of meth, driving under the influence of meth, possession of marijuana, possession of paraphernalia, and before that, a few months before that, I was arrested for breaking into a house and stealing.
Have you been to jail?
Yes, I have.
Or prison?
Just in the county jail in Ottawa.
Okay, I'm going to ask you a couple hard questions. Do you think your childhood had an impact on your life?
Well, yes, probably so. Growing up, my mom smoked weed openly in front of me and my brother. And then when I was probably 11 or 12, I started smoking cigarettes, and she would give me marijuana and I would smoke. And for birthday gifts, that was my gifts, was bags of marijuana and bongs and cartons of cigarettes. So yes, I do believe that my childhood probably had a lot to do with the way I am now.
So tell me more about your brother. Do you guys have a good relationship?
Probably not, because he moved away and went and lived with my aunt when he was 15 or 16, and he changed his life and went in a different direction than I did. He went to college now and has a job working as a lineman for the city of Eudora, so he has a lot better life than I did, so we don't have anything in common.
What happened in your childhood that brought you to where you are now?
I'd say that my mom had many different men throughout our life, was married several times, and I was always looking for a man figure in my life. And now I'm dating a man, or was recently dating a man who was 20 some years older than me, so I was always looking for that man like my mom did. So I believe that's why I am the way I am a little bit, I guess.
Okay. So we're going to talk about your time in incarceration. How long were you incarcerated?
A little less than 3 months.
And can you tell me what that was like?
At the beginning, I was so high that I didn't even realize I was there. And probably a few days into it, then I got really scared and was mad and wanted to be bailed out, but nobody in my family would bail me out. And I started really missing my daughter, but she was with my mom, so she was okay. But after a couple weeks there, I actually kind of ended up liking it. I made some friends, and it was not as bad. I mean, it wasn't like I wanted to stay there, but it wasn't as bad as I thought it would. was.
What do you think the biggest misconception about jail is?
Oh.
Do you use any drugs? Or have you used them in the past?
I smoke weed on a regular basis. I have used meth. I started out with my Adderall, abusing it.
And how old were you at the time?
When I can probably remember abusing it was probably when I started, when I was probably almost around my 13 probably. That's when I can remember like taking it and to feel high instead of it just helping me with my ADD. Visit her, so that'd be what I would say I would notice.
How has being incarcerated affected your relationship with your child?
She is very, very close to my mom now, and she would probably choose my mom over me, which is very hard for me. It causes problems with me and my mom's relationship because my daughter screams for my mom and doesn't really want me. She wants to go, my mom to put her to bed, and it's just really been hard.
Yeah, I bet that has been hard. How do you think being incarcerated has affected your daughter?
I believe that because she doesn't have a steady home, she goes from one place to the other, that it's confusing for her to know where home's at, and she likes very hard to go to bed, it's just been really hard. Like, she just doesn't know where we're going to be at from one day to the next. And so we go to different people's houses and stay a lot, and it's just really hard on her.
What was the worst part about being in jail?
The worst part would be not getting to see my daughter for those 3 months.
What are the hardships you face with being a convicted felon?
Not being able to get jobs. I lie on my applications and hope that they don't find out. Getting apartments, some places won't rent to you.
Okay, we have a couple more questions for you. Do you think the correction system has helped you?
I really can't say that it's probably helped me much. I didn't really have to do anything other than pay my fine, which I'm still paying on, so there's not much of a punishment there. I already served the time I served counts toward my time at the end that I have to go for, so I only have a couple more weekends. I think 3 or 4 weekends of 2 days, and I don't really think that I learned a whole lot from it because I am still using, so I don't know that it really helped me, I guess.
Last question. How do you think the correction system can improve?
I really wish that they cared. I don't feel like they cared. Once I paid my fine and I got out of there, no one really seemed to give me any help, like, to get clean. It was just, all they cared about was me paying my fine, and I would like to see more, maybe get some help, give us help more, like, to stay clean, I think, maybe. That's what I would say. I don't feel like the system cares. It's all about the money. That's what I'm thinking it is, so.
Well, thank you for letting me interview you.
You're welcome.
Throughout the interview, I could see that Faith truly loved her daughter, but like she had mentioned in the interview, that the hardships that she was facing throughout her childhood and now definitely takes an emotional toll on raising a child, especially when you're in and out of jail. I had explained to Faith that she was not alone, and there were thousands of women who are facing the same hardships as she is. There are groups and people that are willing to help mothers who have been incarcerated. I think as a society, we tend to not care about women in incarceration, and when it comes to children, we act like that children are the... This interview has taught me that women are suffering in our prison systems, and we need to be the voice, because at this point, no one is standing up for these women, and these women have rights. I think that most of us know someone who has been incarcerated, and especially for me, since this is my cousin, this definitely hits home. It definitely has opened my eyes to how I view how she feels and what she's going through, especially in this class.